Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Today we are gonna learn basic Linux commands for beginners. So these are very basic commands which are very handy for Linux users. So I'll go into the video and start with the commands. So the basic command which we use is ls. The first command is ls. Ls is to list files and directories. So yeah, I can do that, but I'll clear the screen because you can see all my secrets there. Instead I'll do I'll create a directory. So this itself is another command to create a directory, make directory, and the name of the directory. I'll just go into the directory. Cd is another command to change the directory. Cd is change directory, and I will create some files. How do you create files on Linux? We can use touch test.txt, or this will just create a file without any contents. How to see the contents of a file? You can use cat test.txt, which doesn't show anything because there is nothing in the file. How you can write some content into the file? You can use nano file name test.txt, enter. It will open up a like pager, like a kind of a terminal. You can just edit this whatever you want. This is a test file, something like that, and control X and save modified for Y. Click Y and enter. That's it. Now you have inserted some text inside the file. If you want to view what the file, what information the file has, you can just use cat text.txt. This is a test file which we have done previously. So that is one more command, which is cat, to show the contents of the file. There is one more command for listing. So I'll just show you ls here. This is to list the files. There are a lot of options for ls. For suppose, you can use -a to show all the hidden directories and hidden files in the particular directory as well. So ls -a, there is no hidden file or a directory now, but you can create one. How to create a hidden file? You can just use touch command for that as well. For suppose, if you want to create a ssh file, here touch.ssh, dot symbolizes it's a hidden in Linux. If you use normal listing, it won't show, but if you use ls-a, the hidden files will be shown. So this is one more command, and there is also one more option in ls, which is l. L is long listing format. Listing format. If you do that, it will say read, write. It will show the permissions, who owns the file, which group owns the file, stuff like that. There is long listing. This is called long listing. Yeah. So that's it. And now those are different options in listing. And now we'll try to learn remove command. I'll clear the screen. This is one more command in Linux, which is celear. That is command. I've created an alias for that. Alias is nothing but using a shortcut name to run a commands to make it handy. So I'll just type C and enter. It will clear my command. I've set up an alias there. If you want me to show that, I'll show that as well, but now we'll just move on. So now I'll show you the command remove. Remove is a command to remove the files, like delete on Windows. You can just remove. So before that, I'll just see what files are there in this directory. I'll create some more files. First.txt, second.txt. I'll do ls again. It is There are two files as well, new files. Now if I want to remove a file, I'll do rm and file name second.txt. I'll just want to remove the second.txt. If you want to do that, click enter and list again, and we can't see the second.txt. We can also delete a directory, but it's not same. You should use -r option. So to showcase that, I'll create a directory here, directory testing directory. You can see testing directory is created. So with normal remove, you can't remove the directory because it's a directory. You need to use an option or a flag called -r. So testing directory, and if you do that, we can't see the testing directory anymore, right? So that is one more. And there is a basic command for copying one file to another file in Linux. So just like Control C in Windows, we can use CP here. So how do you do that? So I will create I want to first see what is there in the first text. There is nothing, right? So I'll show you another way to write contents into the file. Instead of nano, this is a editor, inbuilt editor, right? There is nano, there is vim, and there is also another way to write into the file, which is echo. So you can just do testing this file, and this is we just testing this file content. And what file you want to write, it's first.txt, right? So this echo command, all the results from the echo command will be gone into first.txt. If you do first.txt, then testing this file will be appearing here. So that is one more way of writing content into the file. And how do you copy? We use copy first.txt. I want to copy first.txt into destination. What destination? You can name copied file.txt. If you ls, you will see both copied file.txt and first.txt as well. So if you want to see the command, see the content of the file, you can do that, which will be the same as first.txt, right? So that is copy command there, which is Control C in Windows. And you can there is also a move command, mv, which is move command. I want to move copied file.txt into another directory or another file. Copied file.txt, I want to move copied one.txt. So if there is no file named copied one.txt, this command will create this text file and move this particular file contents into this file. So if I click enter, you can't see copied file.txt anymore. You can only see copied one.txt because we have moved. So this will move all the contents and of the file into the specified file. Now if you see copied one.txt, you will see the same contents, right? That is move. And we have learned about cat already to check the file contents. I will clear the screen. It's cleared, and I will try to edit this file, showing multiple lines, line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4. Okay, and I'll just write numbers 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? Control X, Y to save, cat to just check the contents out, and you can see all these lines. Now there is a command called head, HEAD. So we can use that particular command to check top lines of a file. So if I'll show you the example here, head minus n, I just minus n is for number of lines. What lines, how many lines you want to see? I want to see first 3 lines of a file. Sometimes if the file is like 100 lines, if file is having like 100 or 1000 lines, but you just want to see first 3 lines to check out the content, so this command can be useful. Head minus n 3, first 3 lines, and the file name. What is the file name? Test.x. See, you can see the first 3. There is also another command called tail to check last 3 lines of a file, last 3 or whatever lines. If you don't mention any number of lines, what it will do is it will return everything here. It will return like bottom 10 actually, which is mostly everything for this file. But if there are 100 or 200 lines, it will return bottom 10. Same as head. If you just do head test, it will show first 10 lines in a file. This is one. And there is one more command called grep. Grep command. This command searches for a specified pattern in a file, right? So what is a pattern, you ask? Pattern can be anything. It can be a regular expression, it can be a string, it can be what number, whatever it is. It can be anything, right? So yeah, you should give that pattern in this particular quotes. So what I want one. I want to grep one on a file. What is the file name? Test.txt. It will return all the lines with one one in the line. To show this, I will also do one more one on one, and this will append the contents. And previously we have seen just a single arrow which will override the file. So this is append one on test.txt. Now if you see the test.txt, you'll see one, right? So what I want now is to grep one on test.txt. If I click enter, you can see it returned 2 files out of 10 or 11 lines. So this is the most useful and most graceful tool in the Linux. I use it almost every day to grep something out of a file with 1000 lines or 2000 lines or something like that, right? So there is also an operator, pipe operator. So you can first cat the contents, you can pipe the result. Pipe is nothing but a straight line. You need to press shift and straight line there, and if on the keyboard you can see that on top of enter. So you can just cat the file contents and pipe it to grep what you want to grep. I want to grep one, whatever which line has one, I want to see all of them, like this. As simple as that. Now these are all normal usable file content manipulation commands and stuff like that, but there are a lot more system information commands as well, like basic commands, not the complex ones. And even in these things, you can find a lot of other options as well. To check the options of a command, you can see man and the command name. I'll just type grep here. So if you see the man pages of grep, it details everything, every option it has, and it may also show examples if you scroll down to the bottom. I'll quit that, Q for quit. And these are the man pages for a particular command. You can check for inbuilt commands there. And when coming to system information of commands, in order to see the system information, you can type uname -a to display the system information. So this is a Kali Linux a Debian machine and the version there. And you can also see the disk space, disk usage. In order to see the display disk usage, you can use df, which just shows which processes or which file system is using how much disk file here. And you can see what are the running processes using ps-ox. ps is processes, and it will show all the current running processes and the information, who is running it, whatever it is. So you can see ps with ps-ox, you can do that. And yeah, I've missed to show you very basic command, which is who am I. So whenever you get on a system, you first want to know who is on the system, which privileges, which privileged user you have. If you type who am I, you can see I am root. So there is one more user on this machine as well, which is Kali, but now I've logged in as root, so who am I shows only root. So that is who am I. You can also switch user using su. There is a su, this command called su. With that su, if you type a username, you can switch to that particular username, as simple as that. Now usually if you switch from one user to another user, it will ask for password, but in this case it haven't asked me any password because I'm already a root, which is high privileged user, and I want to shift to a low privileged user who is Kali, so it don't need any password. Now if I want to switch from low privileged user to high privileged user, you can see that it's asking a password. I don't want to show you the password or tell you so I just typed it, Kali, and oh, I mistakenly told the password, which is fine, I'll change my password. But this is root. We have successfully switched from Kali to root, and that is a switch command. And we can also add different users using add user command. Add user, this is add user. I don't want to add any users on my machine now, just so it's all right. You can use add user and the username nobody, maybe you can do that, and it will create a new user on the system. And you can change the permissions on a file as well. There is a command called chmod, which you can use to change the permissions on different files or directories. So you can change the file permissions with the chmod. So I'll show you testing. I'll show you first. I'll list what are the files in this directory. So there are copied one, first test file. I'll see what are the permissions for the files. So if I go for the test.txt file, for the users on the current system, it is having read and write access, and for group permissions it is they are only having read, and for others, all others can read this file. So if I want to give permission for read, write and execute for everything, I just need to chmod 777 test.txt. This is a numeric permission system which works with these 4 and 3 and 1. 4 is for reading, 3 is for write, 1 is for execute. If you add all together 4 plus 3 plus 1, so sorry, it's 4 plus 2 plus 1, 2 is for writing. So if you add all together, 4 plus 2 6 plus 1 is 7, so 7 is for read, write and execute permission. So if I mention it as 777, read, write, execute for the current user, read, write, execute for the group, read, write, execute for all others. So if you ls minus al, you can see read write execute for all the text, test.txt. So that is there. You can use sudo command in order to run privileged commands, but I'm already a root, so I don't need sudo. If you're only on a low privilege user like Kali here, you need to use sudo for running privileged commands. Like if you want to upgrade the whole system itself, you can use sudo apt upgrade or update the package list. If you want to update a package management tool, you can use sudo apt update, right? So you can do that. My system is already up to date, so I'm not running this as well. So I control C that. And if you there is one more command to check the network connectivity. So if there is google.com and you want to see the connectivity, so I can do just google.com ping. I'll try to ping it, and it will show successfully that I can able to ping the google.com, so I can check the network connectivity using that. And if you want to see what is the IP, I can simply type IP config. This is the basic command. This is not IP config, if config. IP config on Windows and if config on Linux. You can see all the tunnels, Ethernet, Ethernet port and loopback address here, and my IP address is here, which is great. You can also see IP using IP space A, which is this one. You can see the same kind of details here as well. From here I can see my IP and the subnetting there. So this is one thing. And another command in networking space is netstat. I clear the screen. You can use netstat for checking all the open ports on this particular system, and use options. I'll use these options to see all the open ports and the communications happening. So that is one more command. And these are the mostly used commands. So until now what we have learned is that we have tried to learn about navigation and file operations, and we have learned about file content and manipulation, like how do you manipulate. You can use editors like nano, and you can use echo to just overwrite or append a file as well. And you have learned commands related to system to check out system information. You have learned commands regarding checking out process management. And we have learned a little bit of command from networking as well. There is also a lot of other commands which are basic again, but most commonly used command is zip command as well. So we use zip and unzip commands to archive files, or compress files and decompress the files. So how do we use that? So first I'll list what are the files I have in this directory. I have test first and copied. So I want to zip all these files. Test.txt space first.txt space copy.txt. I want to zip all these files into an archive dot zip here. So I want to first mention this one and all the files. I click enter. You can see it is zipped, right? Now we can also use compression level. So default compression level is 6, but we can use best compression level as 9. You can use option as -9. Archive.zip first test copied. If you do that, it will be overwriting the archive file because we use the same file name. So if you use a new name, it will be compressing all these files into a new name, new zip file and creating here. But I've used the same old name, which makes the overwrite the old file. And if you want to unzip these files, you can do unzip. But before that, I'll remove these files to show you actually that the zip file has unzipped. Because if I unzip that, it will be, I think, rewriting this as well. So I'll remove this first and I'll unzip minus L archive and unzipped ls. So it did show. Oh, sorry. So actually this L minus L is for listing all the files inside the zip file. If you want to unzip, you don't need, I think, any flag. You can just archive.zip and do that, and ls. Yes, you can see that. That is how you unzip files as well. But that's it. These are the most commonly used Linux commands for beginners. These are no way complex.